Alright guys, welcome back to my channel, Augustus Plans, and this is my April book reading wrap up. I had read 6 books this month, actually 5. One I DNF'd. I've noticed that I've been DNFing at least 1 or 2 books every month, and this month was no exception. I went through 5 books, a 5-star read, a DNF, and everything in between. So if you're interested in the books that I read in the month of April and what books I'll be reading in the month of May, keep on watching. Alright guys, I'm gonna put the books right here in front of me. So let's just begin with my DNF'd, which was A Tempest of Tea. I made an unboxing video on this book. I bought it through Once Upon a Book Club, and I received a teacup, a little scarf, and I like a bookmark to go along with the book. And I read through the first 3 chapters, almost 4 chapters, and I noticed that I was not gonna like the book. I could tell from the beginning if I'm gonna like the book or not. Like, the story was just a little bit, you get thrown into this commotion of things that are happening, and I feel like it was a little bit too fast-paced for my liking. There were a lot of characters, and I feel like I could read this book in a different time. So I'm DNFing at the time being, but I'm definitely gonna come back to it. I just was not in the mood for a book like this. It has like a 3.8 star rating on Goodreads, and I've noticed that a lot of the book reads star grading does not really correlate with my actual preference. I've DNF'd books that were at a 4.5, or I loved books that were at a 3-star rating. So I'm not really gonna go based on Goodreads ratings. I'm just gonna go on how I like it. If that makes any sense. I read this book. For me, it's not that it's a bad book. I just think that I'm a mood reader, and this was not in my mood to read at the time being. I'm definitely gonna come back to it, but if you like this book, let me know in the comments below, and let's keep moving. Alright guys, so I'm gonna go in with my 5-star book read. I have 2 books that I gave 5 stars. Fredrik Backman's Anxious People. Amazing. I love the story. I happen to like a lot of Fredrik Backman's books. I feel like he's becoming one of my favorite authors, if not my favorite author. A Man Called Ove, Beartown, the series was amazing. I gave them 5 stars as well. Beartown being my all-time favorite book from Fredrik Backman, and it's like a trilogy. I love them. It's just amazing. And A Man Called Ove, I read the book, and then it became a Netflix movie, and Tom Hanks was in the main star in that book, in that movie, and I just absolutely loved it. So if you guys are interested in a new author, or if you have never read anything from Fredrik Backman, Beartown and A Man Called Ove are my highly recommendations for you guys to read. In third place, I do have Anxious People. This is a comedy, kind of a non-fiction book. You get thrown into this cops, a son and a father that are cops that are trying to solve a bank robbery, and 8 people get held hostage at this bank in this building. And so you kind of go reading different point of views, and you have suicidal thoughts. You have so much going on in the book, a lot of character build up, and it's just a book that is very wholesome. It touches on a lot of different life decisions, and honestly guys, I'm not gonna really say much about the book. It's just one of my favorite books, and this month Fredrik Backman comes back strong. I definitely love this book, and I highly recommend it. I cannot give this book enough praise. Absolutely amazing. Moving right along to another 5-star read this month, The Measure. Oh my god guys, so The Measure by Nikki Erlich. I definitely love this book. This was the first book I finished this month. I read it within 2 days. It's just such a good book that I will recommend this book to anyone that's interested into a non-fiction book. It's The Measure talks about, I think I made a video on this, but it talks about 8 different points of views on people that happen to receive a box, a mysterious box. When they open the box, there's like a little thread inside, different sizes. People received a long thread, a short thread, a middle of the road thread, and the length of that thread depended kind of what's the life that they have to live. That was the length of their life. So people that opened the box and kind of like a little small thread die really quickly, and then it became a commotion where people were thinking that it was fake, that the thread was nothing to do with anything, and so people were committing suicide just to prove it wrong because they had a long thread. And lo and behold, they didn't really kill themselves. And so you go reading about kind of like the bucket list of these people that have different length threads. And it's just such a good book. I'm not doing it justice by telling you guys what the book is about. But I'm also not trying to give any spoilers because as a 5-star book, I will be recommending this one. If you guys are watching to read this book, it's a very wholesome, and it just makes you want to appreciate more what you have, and show the love and affection that you have towards those people that you love in your life, your parents, your brothers. Just connect with them and appreciate them while you have them in with you, because you guys don't know that maybe the next day they're not gonna be here. But this book really just, it's the epitome of reflecting on your life and your loved ones, and I definitely think that this book deserves all the hype that it didn't get. I believe it came out last year, and I don't think a lot of people talked about it. However, I'm here giving it hyped. Alright guys, so I'm gonna go into another book. It was about to be a 5-star read, but I didn't give it 5 stars. I actually made a whole video on reading blog on this book, but this is The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo, and I love this book. I loved it. I didn't love it enough to give it a 5-star read. I'm gonna actually give this a 4-star rating, just because it lacked kind of like the thrill and the suspense, and it needed something, needed the little oomph to give it a 5 stars. However, I liked the book. It was really, really nice. I believe it's a fantasy, historical fantasy with with Spain being involved, and the pilgrimage and Christianity and religion. It's a really nice book though. I feel like it needed more of like action-packed themes to definitely umph it up a little bit of battles and drama and thrill and mystery. It was a really nice book though. I like the character development that you get here. You get introduced to a lot of characters that actually have a point in the book. I noticed that a lot of the other books have a lot of characters that don't really add up to the story. This one did. You have a lot of interesting characters, and they really add up to the story. And I feel like it's a standalone from Leigh Bardugo. So if you're interested in a standalone book, definitely pick this one up. And I got the one with the black sprayed edges. Alright guys, and I have 2 books left. These were my worst books, or I don't want to say the bad books or worst books. These were just not my books this month. Is where I would not recommend you guys to pick this book up. One of them I was extremely excited to read. However, it ended up being a letdown just because I read it within a day. It's a quick read. The font is huge, and I'm talking about Dragon Fruit. This was my book of the month pick for this month. I love the cover for once. However, the book itself, it's a series. I know that there's gonna be at least 2 more books. It's gonna be, I don't know if a duology or a trilogy. I believe it's a YA fantasy. And I didn't really like the book, honestly, and I just feel like compared to other books, this one just was not it. And I'm also not gonna continue the series, and I just was not invested in the characters. I didn't really have a point. A lot of characters were thrown in here, a lot of unnecessary dialogue, and I never got to picture the plot fully in my mind as I was reading the book. I feel like sea dragons are... I know how sea dragons look, and I know this is a fantasy, but like I just couldn't picture a sea dragon being as impressive as they made it seem in the book, and it just didn't work out for me. I know that it's getting a lot of hype right now. Goodreads has it at a good, I believe, over a 4-star rating. It's just not for me. I just didn't like it, and that's all. I'm not gonna smash the book or say anything bad. It's just, it wasn't for me. Also, this was my worst book read. I give it a 2 stars. This is Snow Globe by Soo-Jung Park, or Seo-Jung Park. I believe is a new author, or at least here in the States. It's a Korean book that was dubbed into English. And first of all, look at those foiled and papers. Isn't that gorgeous? And look at the regular cover. That's just beautiful, and this is why I picked it up, because it was so beautiful to look at. And it's just, the marketing for this book was beautiful. I've never heard of it. It's a young adult science fiction mystery thriller, and that's kind of what it is. I do watch a lot of Korean dramas, and this was kind of like a Korean drama in a book. But if it were on Netflix, I would have probably left the book at the third episode. In a book, the first half was really interesting. I loved the first half. It was very intriguing, very wholesome. I loved the character introduction. And the second half of the book, however, was completely garbage. I feel like they just rushed it, and it just didn't work for me. All the build up and all the character development and all the, just the character, involvement that was in the first half of the book was amazing, and the story was, slow built. However, it was a lot of things going on. And then the second half was just thrown into a pothole that just didn't float again. A lot of things were happening. I didn't really like the pacing of the book was off, and in general, I didn't like it. And then there was like the final chapters where the guns and the blood and everything came out. It was just juvenile for me. I didn't believe it. Overall, I didn't like the book, and so that's that. Anyways, guys, this was it. I hope you guys enjoyed my April book reads. How many books did you read this month? And did we read any books the same? Can you recommend me any books to read in May? I actually was gonna make my May TBR. However, I don't really have any books planned out for this month. I am reading the Firekeeper's Daughter, and I'm in chapter 5 on that book, and it's really nice so far. However, anyways, yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and till I see you guys next time. Arigatou gozaimashita.